Hello! This video is going to be talking about life management because we have a lot of things that we do on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. I'm going to be providing some exercises, some tips, some strategies to help you manage your life a little bit better, help you to balance what you have going on in your life. Why is life management so important? Because if not used wisely, we will end up not accomplishing the very things we set our minds to do. Good life management ensures that every aspect of your life grows as it should, without leaving something out. It's easy to leave out some aspects of your personal growth while emphasizing on other things. So, how can we better manage our life? Well, I like to use this statement: what gets measured gets managed. Let's look at the definition of management to give you more of information and understanding. It's the discipline of planning, organizing, as well as leading and controlling. Another definition says the ability to plan, organize, monitor, and direct. Taking the time to evaluate is key to seeing the big picture or scope of what you are dealing with. A good example of this is found in the Word of God, Luke 14:28 through 30. And I will read it in the New Living Translation. But don't begin until you count the cost. For who will begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there is enough money to finish it? Otherwise, you might complete only the foundation before running out of money, and then everyone will laugh at you. They would say, "There's the person who started that building and couldn't afford to finish it." In this chapter, Jesus was talking to his disciples about following him and counting up the cost regarding following him, because following Jesus will ultimately cost you something. We are developing these types of skills, life management skills. So any help that you can get in managing your life, please receive. So, one of the statements I like is, what gets measured gets managed. Do you measure? If not, I'm going to give you some tips that will help you. Tip number 1. Learn through experience. One of the things that helped me is using my phone timer. Of course, you can use any timer, but I started putting a time limit on things that I would like to accomplish. So if I had several books I wanted to read, then I will put the timer for about 30 minutes, having 15 minutes for each. Basically, if I wanted to do 2 books and just read 15 minutes of the book, it's a total of 30 minutes, basically. Another exercise tip that I would like to share with you is we have like 4 major areas that we want to improve on when it talks about life management. And they are our spiritual life, our physical life, our social life, and our financial life. So this exercise tip I want to give you is called the visual wheel. So using a blank wheel, or you can use a piece of paper, and put a circle in the middle of the piece of paper. Write the goal or required outcome at the top of the page. For example, losing weight, or reading some books, or starting to write a book, or going back to school, whatever it is. Then write out the next 8 action steps or chunk of work that makes up that goal. So what is it going to take for you to achieve that goal? So the circle, you can divide it like a pie within the circle and start putting some action steps in that circle. So it's kind of like a visual for your life, for your goal, so you can actually see it. So this is a tip I wanted to give you. So for an example, reading a book, your first action step could be narrowing down which book you want to read. So in your first action step, you can put down what type of book I want to read. The second action step would be what type of day I want to read. In other words, what time of the day. Is it evening? Is it morning? Because you're the one that's going to know that, because you're going to be the one that would put that down. So if you are someone who likes morning time, then you would choose morning. If you prefer someone during your lunch break that you want to read that book in the afternoon, you can carve out 10-15 minutes for that. Or if you're someone that likes to wind down in the evening, choose that. Another action step in that circle that you can perhaps put in there would be, how many minutes will you read? Meaning that, okay, I want to read 3 chapters, or I want to read 1 chapter. How many minutes would I put in a range to read? So if you don't want to read a chapter, but you want to have it like a time limit, then I just want to read 15 minutes of this book. Then you would put that there. But if your goal is to read a chapter, then you would put in that action step a chapter a day. So I'm just kind of giving you examples of what you would actually put in the circle in regards to action steps. Another tip for you in regards to life management skills is use that same circle and put in the circle the 4 major areas that I mentioned earlier, like your spiritual life, your physical life, and you may add travel or activities, things like that. Things that you would want to fulfill. In the circle, how satisfied are you in those areas? So you can have a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being very satisfied, whereas 5 is being less satisfied. This will give you a range of things in your life that you want to pursue or that you want to improve upon. So in that circle, you would put physical life, scale of 1 to 5, maybe it's 3. Okay. Your spiritual life, you may have a 2, and you want to get to, and you want to improve in that area. So if you have it at a 4, because it's less satisfying and you want to be able to have more connection with God, you want to read more, you want to be able to understand more, then you would want to improve in that area. So once the circle is done, you'll be able to see where you need improvements in. So I'm hoping I'm making sense in regards to helping you with balancing your life and the things you want to obtain in your life. One of the things that is definitely helpful is the will. Using a will is great because it helps break down bigger action steps into more smaller, manageable chunks. Okay, so One of the scriptures I want to use is Proverbs 16:3. Commit your works to the Lord, submit and trust them to Him, and your plans will succeed if you respond to His will and guidance. And then the last verse I would like to give you is Ephesians 5:15 and 17. So be careful how you live. Don't live like the foolish, but those who are wise. Make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. Don't act thoughtlessly, but understand what the Lord wants you to do. I'm so glad that you had the opportunity to listen to this video. If you wanted to find out more information about the services that I provide, you can go to my website. My website is www.inmotionchristiancoaching.com.